Hey, good people. How you guys doing today? I am doing super, super fantastic. And today we are going to talk about how to get a visa to go to Nigeria. Okay, I was watching different videos and looking for different information, and people were saying that the visa requirements to Nigeria for American citizens have changed a lot. So, um, one of the biggest things that they said it was big change. One of the biggest changes were that we had to go in for an interview before they would grant us a visa. Well, that is a whole new procedure because I've never ever went in for an interview. Now, when I go to do my visa application, though, I do get an interview appointment. But every time I call the embassy, they always tell me, "Don't worry about it, don't come." So I never come. So let's talk about this because I didn't even see that on there. I didn't even see where you must come in person to get your visa. So we're going to talk about what Americans in general need to do to get their visas to go to Nigeria. Okay, so the first thing you need to do, you need to book your trip, or you at least need to get an itinerary of your trip. An itinerary is nothing but a schedule of your trip. So you can either get that, you can get that from the airline. That's where you get it, from the airlines, okay? You can either get it after you pay for your ticket, or you can get it before you pay for your ticket. You can go on, you can choose a flight there, and you can choose a flight coming back, and then all you got to do is print it off, and that's your itinerary. So that's the first thing you're going to need, is an itinerary. The second thing you are going to need is your itinerary. I lost my train of thought. My phone was ringing. Your letter of invitation. So I'm naming things that you need to get before you even go apply for this visa. Okay. So your itinerary is first. Your letter of invitation, or if you don't have a letter of invitation, you can get a receipt or a confirmation letter from the hotel you plan on staying at, or the Airbnb you plan, wherever you want to stay. Say you don't know anybody in Nigeria and you just going, okay, like I did the first time. So you need to get a letter from somebody saying they're going to host you and they're going to show you around, or you need to get a letter from a hotel where you're going to be staying the entire time you're in Nigeria. So, like I said, the first time I went to Nigeria, I didn't know anybody. I was just going because I wanted to go to Nigeria. I had been to Cameroon, and I just felt really drawn to Nigeria. So I just couldn't resist the urge, so I had to go. So what do you have to do? Since I didn't know anybody, there was a church there. This is crazy part, y'all. There was a church there called the Church of Senegal or something like that. And they host a lot of Americans. So I wrote them to try to see if they would give me a letter of invitation and, let me stay at they have like a hotel where out of town people stay, international guests stay. So I wrote them a letter, but they never responded. It took months and months. I never got any response back from them. So I just kind of gave up on that aspect, and I didn't know what else to do. But in the meantime, I had met a friend, and he was telling me that you could also get a letter from a hotel. Since the church was not responding, he told me to try a hotel because again, I couldn't get a letter of invitation because I didn't know anybody there. So I looked on the internet, Lord have mercy, and that was so hard. I looked and looked and looked, and I only found one hotel that even had email, that had some place where I could reach out to somebody. So it was called the African Gardens Lounge. Okay. I emailed them. His name was Daniel. He emailed me back right away. He gave me a copy of the letter that I needed. It was so he wrote it up. He gave it to me, no big deal, and I was able to use that for my visa. Okay? So, after that, after I got that letter, I went on to the Nigerian Embassy website and I filled out my visa application. So, the visa application is on all this is electronic except when it comes down to your passport. You got to actually send that passport in. You got to send some pictures of yourself. I think it's 2 pictures of yourself. You got to have at least 6 months left on your passport. Okay, at least 6 months left on your passport. And you got to have a page that's free of stamps so they can stamp it. Okay, so I got that all done. I typed up, because the application is online. Okay, it's at the embassy's website. So the application, you're just going to do that. You're going to do all that online. You don't have to write anything. So you just answer a couple of questions. And then there's $160 total fee. There's like $120 or $30 for the actual visa. But then there's a processing fee that you have to pay. So you pay that, and you complete the application online. You send all your documents. You send all your documents to the embassy, the Nigerian embassy, and I sent mine to the one in Washington D.C. So that might have been the difference with me and the other ladies, because maybe the embassies do things differently, but I think it's only one Nigerian embassy here, actually, and it's in Washington D.C. So I completed everything. Then I had to send all my passport and my pictures to the embassy people. And I was really kind of reluctant to do that at first, because I didn't want to send my passport to these people. I didn't know where my passport was going. I didn't want to take a chance and send my passport and never see it again. So I was really reluctant. But I had been to Cameroon before, so I kind of knew I had to apply for a visa to go to Cameroon. So I kind of knew what that was all about, and that I would get my passport back. So I went ahead and did that, applied for them, sent everything to them, and I'll say within maybe 2-3 weeks at the most, I had my visa back. So your visa comes back really fast. So you don't need to get that like months in advance. Well, now I would, simply because of what's going on with COVID, and you never know what people are doing because of COVID. You never know who's open, who's closed. You don't know any of that. So I would go ahead and do it now. I would do it early. So I would do it now, but you got to have your passport. So if you don't have your passport, you cannot apply for your visa. So if you don't have your U.S. passport, you really need to go get that. You should have gotten that months ago. So if you don't have your passport, you cannot apply for a visa, because what they're going to do, they're going to stamp your passport with a Visa card, with a Visa sticker. Okay? They're going to stamp it with that Visa, and they need your passport to put it in there. So that's why they have to have your passport, because it's an actual sticker that they put on your visa. Now, there's different types of visas, okay? So you get the type of visa depending on what you're going to Nigeria for. If you're going to visit, then you just need a tourist visa. If you're going to do business, then you want a business visa. Okay, and then there are visas called a visa on demand, a visa on arrival, not on demand, on arrival. And in this visa, once you get to the airport, you can apply for your visa. I've never done visa on arrival because I don't trust that. Nigeria is too much. Let me explain this to y'all. This is what you got to realize. They call Africa the motherland because it's our mother's land. Okay? It's where we come from. Okay? So, where we come from is what we do. Okay? So I know here, the black people here, there is no way I'm going to go and I'm going to do a visa on arrival because, for one, you're going to tell me it costs one thing, but it actually costs something else. 1 second. So, I'm not going to go to the hood in my city and say, how much does this cost once I get there? If it's not printed out, I don't want it because I don't know, if you're telling me the truth or not. So that visa on arrival is too much of a scam for me. It's too many shades of gray is what I like to call it. So I don't do the visa on arrival. But visa on arrival is another visa that you can get, and you just simply get it at the airport. You go to the airport, once you get your land, and that's if they let you on the plane. Because Delta's not going to let you on that plane, honey, without your visa. So that's not going to happen. So I don't even know how you get a visa on arrival, because here, well, I know on Delta, if you don't have your visa, you're not getting on that airplane. So again, let me tell you, we're going to do it again. There's 3 visas: a tourist visa, a tourist/visitor visa. That's when you want to go see somebody and you're going to visit Nigeria, or you just want to tour Nigeria. Okay, you can get a multiple entry visa that has multiple entries and lasts anywhere from 2 years. The last one I had, it was for 2 years and it had multiple entries. Okay, the first one I got, though, it wasn't. So the first one I got, let me tell you about that. The first one I got, they only gave me it was multiple entries, but it was 6 months. Okay. But when I applied, when that was the one where I just had the hotel, I did not have a letter from somebody. But when I got the letter, the second time I went, I had met, my husband. He wasn't my husband then, he was my boyfriend then. But I had met him, and he wrote me a letter of invitation. So when he wrote my letter of invitation, that was all I needed. And they gave me a 2-year visa, because he put in the letter, we were planning on getting married, which we were, and then he wanted me to meet his family and everything. So they gave me a 2-year visa with multiple entries. So there's several different, and then there's the business visa. Remember I told you guys about that? So those are the 2 main type of visas that you can get to Nigeria. Okay. Now, after you get your visa and you pay your fee, and you'll get it back in the mail. After you get your passport and you pay your visa fee, you'll get it in the mail, like I said, in about 2 or 3 weeks, and you're all set. But remember, all bets are off if you don't have a passport. So if you don't have a passport, you need to get a passport now. So this is what you need to do for a visa. We're going to go over it again. You need an itinerary. You need to go to the Nigerian Embassy website. I'm going to put that in the comments where you go do all this. You need to go online. You need to get you a itinerary. Go find you a flight. No, back up. Get a passport first. Get you a passport, because you can't do nothing without a passport. You got to have a passport with 6 months left on it. Number 2, you got to get you a flight. Go find you a flight to Nigeria. Any flight that's good for you, fits your budget. Print off the itinerary, okay, which is the schedule. Itinerary just means the schedule. So print that off. You need 2 photo pictures. Go to Walgreens and ask them for 2 passport pictures. They're probably $7, $8 now. They're probably more than that. It's probably 10 now. Ask for 2 passport pictures. Go online to the Nigerian Embassy website. I'm going to leave that in the comments. You just go online. You fill out that application. You pay your fee. You take the receipts. Yeah, that's important. Take the receipt. Put the receipts, print it off. Put it inside your passport and your pictures and your itinerary. All your paper stuff you're sending to them, put your receipt in there. And you can't just mail it. You got to go to, like, I believe it's UPS or FedEx. I went to UPS. And once you do that, you just mail it, and you should have your passport back in about 3 weeks. But like I was saying, you guys, if you do not have your passport now, you need to go ahead and apply for it. So that's pretty much it. If you got any questions about how to apply for a passport, a visa to go to Nigeria, please just comment, and I'll be sure to get back with you. And or questions about anything, please be sure to comment. Thank you so much for watching Kiki Loves Nigeria. Thank you so much for loving Nigeria. And thank you so much for spending this time with me. And you guys have a wonderful day, and talk to you later.